Most people wait for the right moment, the right support, or the right conditions before they begin to change their lives. They tell themselves that once things improve, they will work harder, think bigger, or take risks. But the truth is simple and uncomfortable. Nothing changes until you decide to take responsibility for your own life. Responsibility is not about blame, it is about power. The moment you accept that your life is shaped mainly by your own choices, you gain control over your future. Until then, you remain trapped in excuses, waiting for someone or something to save you. Taking responsibility means accepting where you are without denying reality. It means looking honestly at your current situation, your skills, your habits, your mindset, your results, and saying, "This is my starting point." Many people avoid this moment because it feels painful. It is easier to blame parents, teachers, society, luck, or circumstances. But blame keeps you weak. Responsibility makes you strong. When you stop blaming others, you stop giving them power over your emotions and outcomes. You realize that even if the past was unfair, the future is still in your hands. Life is not equal. Some people start with advantages, others with obstacles. But success has never been about fairness. It has always been about response. Two people can face the same difficulty and end up in completely different places because they choose different responses. One complains, the other learns. One gives up, the other adapts. Responsibility is choosing to respond with action instead of emotion. It is deciding that no matter what happens, you will find a way forward when you take responsibility. Your mindset shifts from victim to creator. You stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and start asking, "What can I do next?" This single change in thinking transforms problems into challenges and failures into lessons. You begin to see obstacles not as walls, but as signals telling you where you need to grow. This is where real confidence is born, not from success itself, but from knowing that you can handle whatever comes next. Many people misunderstand responsibility and think it means carrying guilt or pressure all the time. It does not. True responsibility is calm, not heavy. It is the quiet confidence that says, "I may not control everything, but I control my effort, my attitude, and my choices." This mindset frees you from fear because you stop depending on external approval or perfect conditions. You act even when you feel uncertain because you trust yourself to learn along the way. Responsibility also means discipline in small daily actions. Big dreams are meaningless without small, consistent steps. You cannot claim responsibility for your life if your daily habits contradict your goals. If you want growth, your actions must reflect it. Waking up on time, using your hours wisely, learning new skills, improving your thinking, these are not dramatic acts, but they are powerful. Responsibility is not proven by words, it is proven by routine. One of the hardest parts of responsibility is accepting your mistakes without destroying your self-respect. Everyone makes poor decisions. The difference between those who grow and those who stay stuck is how they respond afterward. Responsible people admit mistakes quickly, correct them, and move forward. Irresponsible people deny, justify, or repeat them. When you own your mistakes, you remove their power over you. You turn pain into progress. Responsibility also requires patience. When you take control of your life, results do not appear instantly. There will be days when effort feels invisible and progress feels slow. This is where many people quit and return to excuses. But responsible thinking understands that growth compounds. Small improvements repeated daily create massive change over time. You may not see results today or next month, but if your actions are aligned, the future will reward you. Another important aspect of responsibility is self-awareness. You must know your strengths and weaknesses without ego or shame. Responsible people do not pretend to be perfect. They work with what they have and improve what they lack. They ask for feedback, seek knowledge, and stay open to learning. Responsibility is not about doing everything alone. It is about choosing growth over comfort. Taking responsibility also changes how you view other people. Instead of expecting them to motivate you, rescue you, or understand you, you become self-driven. This does not make you cold or selfish. It makes you reliable. People begin to trust you because you do not make excuses or run from challenges. Leadership in any form begins with personal responsibility. Many people say they want success, but few are willing to accept the responsibility that comes with it. Success demands decisions, sacrifices, and consistency. It requires you to show up even when motivation is low. Responsible people do not wait to feel ready. They act and become ready through action. They understand that confidence is built after effort, not before it. Responsibility also means protecting your mindset. You choose what you focus on, what you consume, and what you allow to influence you. Complaining, negative thinking, and constant comparison weaken responsibility. When you take charge of your inner world, your outer world slowly aligns. You begin to think clearly, act deliberately, and respond wisely instead of reacting emotionally. There will be moments when responsibility feels lonely. When you stop blaming others, you lose the comfort of excuses. When you choose discipline, you may feel separated from those who choose comfort. But this loneliness is temporary. Over time, it turns into self-respect. And self-respect is far more powerful than approval. Responsibility is not a single decision, it is a daily choice. Every morning you choose whether to act like a victim of circumstances or a creator of outcomes. Every challenge gives you the same choice. Over time, these choices shape your identity. You become someone who can be trusted. With work, with goals, and with life, in the end, taking responsibility for your life is the greatest form of freedom. You are no longer controlled by excuses, fear, or the opinions of others. You understand that while you cannot control everything, you can always control your effort and direction. And that is enough. When you accept responsibility fully, you stop waiting for permission to succeed. You begin building your future with intention, courage, and consistency, one decision at a time. Most people live their lives focused on what they want immediately. They measure progress by how fast results appear and judge success by short-term rewards. This way of thinking feels natural because the human mind is wired to seek comfort and quick satisfaction. But this mindset is also the reason why so many people give up early. When you think only in the short term, every delay feels like failure, and every obstacle feels like a dead end. Long-term thinking, on the other hand, changes how you experience time, effort, and struggle. Thinking long-term means making decisions today that your future self will thank you for. It requires you to step beyond emotions and imagine the bigger picture of your life. Instead of asking, what do I want right now? You begin to ask, what kind of person do I want to become? This shift is powerful because identity shapes behavior. When your actions are guided by long-term vision, you stop chasing temporary comfort and start building lasting value. Short-term thinking often leads to impulsive choices. People jump from one opportunity to another, hoping for quick success. When something does not work immediately, they abandon it and search for the next easy path. This constant switching creates motion, but not progress. Long-term thinkers understand that mastery requires time. Skills take years to develop, businesses take years to grow, and strong character is built slowly through consistent effort. They accept this reality and commit to the process. One of the greatest advantages of long-term thinking is emotional stability. When you focus only on immediate outcomes, your emotions rise and fall with every result. A small win excites you. A small setback discourages you. This emotional roller coaster drains energy and clouds judgment. Long-term thinking smooths these extremes. You begin to see setbacks as temporary and successes as steps, not destinations. This perspective keeps you calm, patient, and focused even during difficult periods. Patience is often misunderstood as passive waiting, but true patience is active endurance. It is the ability to keep working without immediate reward. Long-term thinkers are patient because they trust the direction they are moving in. They know that effort invested today may not pay off tomorrow, but it will pay off eventually. This trust allows them to stay disciplined when others quit. Another important aspect of long-term thinking is delayed gratification. Choosing long-term growth often means saying no to short-term pleasure. It may mean studying while others relax, saving while others spend, or practicing while others entertain themselves. These choices are not easy, especially when results are not visible. But over time, these sacrifices compound into significant advantages. What feels like discipline today becomes freedom tomorrow. Long-term thinking also improves decision-making. When you evaluate choices based on long-term consequences, you become more strategic. You stop reacting to pressure, trends, or opinions. Instead, you act according to principles and goals. This reduces regret because your decisions are aligned with your values rather than temporary emotions. Even when outcomes are not perfect, you know you acted with intention. Failure looks different through a long-term lens. In the short term, failure feels personal and final. In the long term, it is simply data. It shows you what does not work and points you toward improvement. Long-term thinkers do not fear failure because they see it as part of the journey. They analyze it, learn from it, and adjust their approach. This resilience allows them to move forward while others remain stuck. Consistency is another pillar of long-term thinking. Small actions repeated daily have more power than occasional bursts of effort. Many people underestimate the impact of consistency because it feels boring and slow. But time magnifies consistent behavior. A small daily habit may seem insignificant today, but over years it can transform skills, health, finances, and mindset. Long-term thinkers commit to habits, not moods. Long-term vision also helps you choose the right environment. You become more selective about the people you surround yourself with and the information you consume. Instead of seeking constant validation or entertainment, you seek growth and alignment. You understand that environment influences behavior, and behavior shapes outcomes. By choosing environments that support your long-term goals, you reduce friction and increase progress. Another benefit of long-term thinking is the ability to handle uncertainty. The future is unpredictable, and no plan is perfect. Short-term thinkers struggle with this uncertainty because they need immediate clarity. Long-term thinkers accept uncertainty as part of life. They focus on building skills, adaptability, and mindset rather than trying to control every outcome. This flexibility makes them stronger in changing conditions. Long-term thinking, so deepens self-trust. When you commit to a vision and honor your commitments over time, you prove to yourself that you are reliable. This self-trust becomes a source of confidence. You no longer need constant motivation or external approval. You know that as long as you keep moving forward, progress is inevitable. This belief fuels perseverance. Many people misunderstand long-term thinking as dreaming without action. In reality, it requires more action, not less. It demands daily effort, reflection, and adjustment. Long-term thinkers plan, but they also execute. They review their progress, refine their strategies, and stay aligned with their goals. They are patient, but they are not passive. Comparison becomes less powerful when you think long-term. You stop measuring yourself against others' timelines because you understand that everyone's journey is different. Some people rise quickly and fall just as fast. Others grow slowly and build something that lasts. Long-term thinking helps you stay focused on your own path instead of being distracted by someone else's highlight moments. Long-term focus also changes how you view success. Success is no longer a single achievement or moment of recognition. It becomes a continuous process of growth, learning, and contribution. You value progress over perfection and direction over speed. This mindset reduces anxiety and increases satisfaction because you find meaning in the journey, not just the outcome. When challenges arise, long-term thinkers ask different questions. Instead of asking, "How do I escape this?" they ask, "How can this make me better?" This approach transforms difficulties into training grounds. Each challenge strengthens skills, resilience, and perspective. Over time, what once felt overwhelming becomes manageable. Long-term thinking requires courage because it often means walking a path that others do not understand. Results are delayed, and progress is not always visible. There may be moments of doubt and isolation, but those who stay committed eventually reach a place where effort aligns with opportunity. When that moment comes, it may look like luck from the outside, but it is the result of years of preparation. In the end, thinking long-term is about choosing depth over speed and purpose over comfort. It is about trusting that meaningful success takes time and being willing to invest that time wisely. When you adopt this mindset, you stop chasing quick wins and start building a life that is stable, sustainable, and fulfilling. Short-term rewards fade quickly, but long-term growth shapes who you become. And who you become is the true measure of success. Failure is something most people try to avoid at all costs. From a young age, we are taught that failing means we are not good enough, not smart enough, or not capable enough. This belief slowly builds fear into our minds, and that fear controls our actions. We hesitate, delay, and sometimes never even try because we are afraid of making mistakes. But failure is not the enemy people believe it to be. In reality, failure is one of the most honest teachers you will ever encounter. Every meaningful success story is built on layers of failure. The difference between those who succeed and those who stay stuck is not intelligence, luck, or talent. It is their relationship with failure. Some people see failure as a final judgment on their abilities. Others see it as feedback. The first group stops. The second group grows. Failure only becomes permanent when you refuse to learn from it. When you fail, your ego is challenged. It hurts because it forces you to face the gap between where you are and where you want to be. Many people run from this feeling because it is uncomfortable. But discomfort is not danger. Growth lives inside discomfort. When you allow yourself to sit with failure instead of escaping it, you begin to understand its message. Every failure points to something that needs improvement: your skills, your strategy, your discipline, or your mindset. Fear of failure often comes from fear of judgment. People worry about what others will say, how they will look, or whether they will lose respect. But the truth is, people are far more focused on their own lives than on your mistakes. And even if they do judge, their opinions do not determine your future. Allowing fear of judgment to stop you is giving others control over your life. Learning from failure takes that control back. Failure also reveals character. When things go wrong, excuses appear easily. It is simple to blame circumstances, people, or bad luck. But blame blocks learning. When you blame, you protect your ego but sacrifice growth. When you take responsibility, you may feel temporary pain, but you gain long-term strength. Growth begins the moment you ask yourself honestly, what could I have done better? Every failure carries information. It tells you what does not work, where your weaknesses are, and what skills you need to develop. In many cases, failure is simply a signal that your approach needs adjustment, not that your goal is wrong. People who succeed are not those who never fail, but those who fail, adapt, and continue. They treat failure as a course correction, not a stop sign. One of the most powerful lessons failure teaches is resilience. Each time you recover from a setback, you become mentally stronger. You learn that pain is temporary and survivable. This builds confidence that cannot be gained through success alone. Success can make you comfortable. Failure makes you capable. It prepares you for bigger challenges by strengthening your emotional endurance. Failure also removes illusions. It exposes unrealistic expectations and forces you to confront reality. Many people dream big but underestimate the effort required to achieve those dreams. Failure closes this gap by showing you what the process truly demands. This clarity helps you build realistic plans and develop patience. Without failure, growth remains shallow and fragile. Another important aspect of failure is humility. When you fail, you realize that you do not know everything. This realization opens the door to learning. Humility makes you curious, receptive, and flexible. It allows you to listen, seek advice, and improve. People who avoid failure often remain trapped in limited thinking because they protect their pride at the cost of progress. Failure also sharpens focus. After a setback, you begin to identify what truly matters. Distractions lose their appeal, and priorities become clearer. You start to invest your energy where it counts instead of spreading yourself thin. In this way, failure acts like a filter, removing what is unnecessary and strengthening what is essential. Many people give up, not because they fail, but because they interpret failure incorrectly. They see one setback as proof that they are not meant for success. This belief is dangerous and false. Failure does not mean you are incapable. It means you are in the process of learning. Skill is built through repetition, and repetition includes mistakes. If you quit early, you deny yourself the chance to improve. Learning from failure requires reflection. You must pause and analyze what went wrong without self-attack. This is not about being harsh on yourself, but about being honest. Ask what decisions led to the outcome, what assumptions were incorrect, and what could be done differently next time. This reflection turns experience into wisdom. Failure also builds independence. When things go wrong, You are forced to rely on your inner strength rather than external validation. You learn to motivate yourself when no one is cheering. This self-reliance is critical for long-term success because external motivation is temporary, but internal drive lasts. There is also freedom in accepting failure. When you stop trying to avoid it, fear loses its power. You begin to take calculated risks, explore new opportunities, and push your limits. Progress requires experimentation, and experimentation involves failure. Those who accept this move faster and learn more deeply than those who play safe. Failure teaches patience as well. Not everything works immediately, and not every effort produces instant results. This understanding helps you stay committed to the process instead of chasing quick outcomes. You begin to appreciate progress even when it is slow. Patience allows growth to mature rather than forcing results prematurely. Another lesson failure offers is gratitude. When you struggle, you begin to value progress more deeply. Small wins feel meaningful because you understand the effort behind them. This appreciation keeps you grounded and prevents arrogance. It reminds you that success is earned, not owed. Failure also strengthens your sense of purpose. When you fail at something you truly care about and still choose to continue, you prove to yourself that your commitment is real. This clarity fuels persistence. If failure makes you quit easily, the goal may not be aligned with your values. But if failure pushes you to try again, it confirms your dedication. It is important to understand that avoiding failure does not protect you from pain. It simply delays growth. Regret often hurts more than failure because regret comes from knowing you did not try. Failure comes from if. Ort. One builds character, the other erodes confidence. Choosing to try, even with the risk of failure, is always the braver option. Failure is also a reminder that progress is not linear. Growth includes setbacks, pauses, and detours. Expecting a smooth journey sets you up for disappointment. Accepting failure as part of the process prepares you mentally for reality. This acceptance allows you to continue without losing faith in yourself. In the end, failure is not something to be feared or avoided. It is something to be used. Every failure carries the potential to make you wiser, stronger, and more capable if you allow it to. When you stop seeing failure as a reflection of your worth and start seeing it as a step in your development, everything changes. You stop hiding from challenges and start embracing them. Those who succeed in life are not those who are protected from failure, but those who are shaped by it. They fall, learn, adjust, and rise again. Failure does not defeat them, it refines them. And once you understand this truth, failure no longer controls you. Instead, it becomes one of your greatest allies on the path to growth and success. The most valuable asset you will ever own is not money, property, or status. It is you. Your skills, your mindset, your health, your discipline, and your ability to adapt determine the quality of your life more than anything else. Yet many people spend years investing in everything except themselves. They work endlessly to build their external success while neglecting inner growth. True progress begins when you understand that investing in yourself is not selfish. It is necessary. Investing in yourself means committing to continuous growth, even when no one is watching and no immediate reward is visible. It starts with the belief that you are worth the effort. Many people secretly doubt their own value, which is why they hesitate to learn, improve, or try something new. But the moment you decide that your future matters, your actions begin to change. You stop wasting time on habits that drain you and start building habits that strengthen you. Learning is one of the most powerful ways to invest in yourself. Knowledge expands your options and sharpens your judgment. The world changes quickly, and skills that were valuable yesterday may not be enough tomorrow. Those who survive and succeed are lifelong learners. Learning does not always mean formal education. It can be reading, listening, observing, practicing, and reflecting. Even small daily learning compounds into wisdom over time. Many people wait for the right time to start learning or improving themselves, but there is no perfect moment. Life will always be busy, responsibilities will always exist, and challenges will always appear. Waiting delays growth. Starting imperfectly creates momentum. Even 15 or 30 minutes a day, used consistently, can transform your abilities and confidence over the years. Investing in yourself also means improving your mindset. Skills alone are not enough if your thinking is limited. Your beliefs shape your actions, and your actions shape your results. If you believe you are not capable, you will hesitate. If you believe growth is possible, you will persist. A strong mindset allows you to stay focused during difficulty and humble during success. It keeps you moving forward regardless of circumstances. Self-discipline is another critical investment. Discipline is choosing long-term benefit over short-term comfort. It is doing what needs to be done even when you do not feel like it. Motivation comes and goes, but discipline stays. When you develop discipline, you free yourself from emotional decision-making. You no longer depend on mood or inspiration to act. This consistency builds trust with yourself, and self-trust is the foundation of confidence. Your health is also a form of investment. Physical energy affects mental clarity, emotional stability, and productivity. When you neglect your body, everything else becomes harder. Simple habits like proper sleep, movement, and mindful eating improve focus and resilience. You do not need perfection, you need consistency. A healthy body supports a focused mind, and together they create sustainable performance. Another important aspect of self-investment is emotional intelligence. Understanding your emotions instead of being controlled by them is a powerful skill. It helps you manage stress, handle conflict, and make clear decisions. Man, people ignore emotional growth, yet it influences every area of life: relationships, work, and self-respect. When you invest in emotional awareness, you respond wisely instead of reacting impulsively. Time management is also an investment in yourself. Time is limited, and how you use it reflects your priorities. When you invest your time intentionally, you protect it from distractions that offer short-term pleasure but long-term regret. You begin to design your days around growth instead of convenience. Over time, this intentional use of time creates momentum and direction. Investing in yourself also requires courage. Growth often means leaving comfort zones and facing uncertainty. It may involve learning new skills, changing routines, or letting go of familiar habits. This discomfort is temporary, but the benefits are lasting. Each time you choose growth over comfort, you expand your capacity and resilience. Many people underestimate themselves because they compare their starting point to someone else's results. This comparison is unfair and discouraging. Investing in yourself is a personal journey, not a competition. Progress should be measured against who you were yesterday, not against someone else today. When you focus on your own growth, comparison loses its power. Another powerful investment is self-reflection. Taking time to think about your actions, decisions, and direction helps you learn faster. Reflection turns experience into insight. Without reflection, lessons are repeated instead of learned. Regular self-reflection helps you correct course and stay aligned with your values and goals. Investing in yourself also means setting boundaries. Not every opportunity, request, or distraction deserves your energy. Saying no to what drains you is saying yes to what builds you. Boundaries protect your time, focus, and mental health. They are not about isolation, they are about alignment. When your energy is protected, your growth accelerates. One of the most overlooked investments is confidence built through action. Confidence does not come from thinking positively alone. It comes from keeping promises to yourself. Every time you follow through on a small commitment, you strengthen self-belief. This belief compounds and eventually allows you to take bigger risks and pursue larger goals. Financial literacy is another form of self-investment. Understanding how money works gives you control instead of stress. You do not need to be wealthy to be wise with money. Learning to manage, save, and invest responsibly reduces anxiety and increases freedom. Financial clarity supports long-term stability and decision-making. Investing in yourself also means accepting that growth is not linear. There will be periods of rapid progress and periods of slow improvement. Both are normal. During slow periods, discipline matters more than motivation. Staying committed during these times separates those who grow from those who quit. Another key element of self-investment is humility. Growth requires admitting that you do not know everything. When you stay teachable, you remain adaptable. When you stay committed, you remain consistent. This is the foundation of trust. When you stay committed, you remain adaptable. When you stay teachable, you remain adaptable. When you stay committed, you remain adaptable. When you stay teachable, 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 you remain adaptable. When you st Pride blocks learning, but humility invites improvement. Those who grow the most are often those who ask questions and remain open to feedback. Surroundings also play a role in self-investment. The people you interact with and the content you consume influence your thinking. Choosing environments that encourage growth rather than negativity strengthens your mindset. You do not need to cut everyone off, but you should be mindful of what you allow to shape your perspective. Investing in yourself builds independence. You stop relying on external validation or approval to feel worthy. Your sense of value comes from progress and effort. This independence creates emotional stability because your confidence is rooted internally, not in circumstances or opinions. Self-investment also prepares you for opportunity. Many people want opportunities but are not ready for them. When opportunity arrives, it rewards preparation. Skills, discipline, and mindset determine whether you can recognize and use opportunities when they appear. Investing in yourself ensures you are ready when the moment comes. Growth also improves your ability to contribute. When you invest in yourself, you increase the value you offer to others. This contribution creates meaning and purpose. Success becomes more fulfilling when it is shared or used to help others grow. Another important truth is that investing in yourself is a long-term commitment, not a temporary phase. There is no finish line where growth stops. Life continuously presents new challenges that require new skills and perspectives. Embracing lifelong growth keeps you relevant, resilient, and fulfilled. There will be times when investing in yourself feels lonely or unrewarded. Others may not understand your choices, and progress may be invisible. During these moments, self-belief matters most. Trust that the effort you invest today is shaping a stronger future version of you. In the end, investing in yourself is an act of respect. It is a decision to take your life seriously and treat your potential with care. You may not see immediate results, but over time, the return on this investment is unmatched. Skills grow, confidence strengthens, opportunities expand, and clarity increases. When you commit to investing in yourself every day through learning, discipline, reflection, and growth, you stop waiting for change and start creating it. You become your own greatest asset, your own strongest support, and your own most reliable investment. And that is a foundation no external circumstance can ever take away.